Investigators in South Carolina are promising to leave no stone unturned after two shootings at electrical power substations. This follows a shooting at a power station in North Carolina that knocked out electricity for thousands of customers. That was earlier this week. Power's back on. That's the good news. Law enforcement, though, say these incidents are not related, despite similarities in both of them. However, we have learned electric utilities in the northwest part of the country have faced similar incidents and threats in recent weeks. Experts fear this may be part of a trend. I want to bring in Nick Picerno with the latest. He is the chairman of the Moore County Commission. His county was the target of that outage in North Carolina this week, and now part of this larger investigation into threats against our nation's infrastructure. Mr. Picerno, thank you again for being back with us. First of all, the latest on the investigation in the attack on your power grid. What can you share that detectives are telling you about who may be responsible?
Well, you understand that they're keeping most things close to the vest. I can tell you the local newspaper has reported that several search warrants have been issued. I can't confirm that. I have not been able to confirm that with our sheriff. I can also say that they have run down some leads, but again, nothing that he would say that has gotten us any closer to catching these guys.
Have there been any more threats that you're aware of?
No, ma'am. No more that we're aware of.
And the question I asked you last time, if you're able to elaborate at all, but are they looking for one person or a group of people? What have they said?
They haven't really said that either, but it appears from the damage and some of things that we've learned, it looks like it probably was more than one.
Okay. Talk about the extent of the damage. I know you visited the power substation in your area to take a look at what had been done in terms of the gunfire. What did you see?
Well, I saw where they had pulled off fins, which are the cooling pieces of the transformer that hold the oil. I saw numerous bullet holes, as you're seeing right now on your screen, up close and personal. I also saw the actual size of this transformer is huge, and the work that Duke Power, along with Randolph Electric, all those guys, they're heroes to Moore County today. They really got the power on quickly, safely, no accidents to report, which is a good thing. And we're feeling very blessed here in Moore County right now that we have great local help, and our sheriff will get to the bottom of it. He's getting lots of help.
Based on the damage and the specific target here, are you getting a sense that the person responsible or the people responsible for this knew what they were doing, knew what they were shooting, and their intent was to cause a major outage?
My logic tells me, this is just my opinion, that they actually knew where to shoot, how to shoot it, because by shooting those fins, it caused the oil to drain slowly, causing not an immediate power outage, nor an explosion, but a slow drain of the oil. And then, there was a time lapse that they signaled back to their control center where they said they had a fault. They'd have to shut down the power. So they probably did this so they could get away, give them time to get away. And so, yes, logic tells me they know that. I've not got that from law enforcement. That's just my own opinion.
Understood. You have called this a wake-up call. We're seeing similar attacks in South Carolina, although police don't think they're related. Other concerns in the Northwest. What security measures are now in place to prevent this from happening in your county and Monroe County and other places, so we don't see this happen again and more people without power?
Well, of course, we're not going to tell you the security measures because then we'll be broadcasting to the bad guys. But I can tell you this. I'm hoping once these perpetrators are caught that they are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and that the penalty will be so great that it would be a deterrent from anyone else ever trying to pull this kind of stunt again. Now, I think the human tragedy that people don't understand at this time of the year when it's cold, we're a retirement community to somewhat, as we're the home of American golf, so we have a lot of retirees here. When the power goes off and they have no means to heat their homes, it puts a lot of people at risk.
Yeah, it's life or death. Nick Picerno, chairman of the Monroe County Commission, thank you again for coming on. Keep us posted. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.